Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast. I am your host, Davo. Couple of announcements before we start. Number one, we are sadly without Andy because he's having internet connectivity problems. Apparently, when you live in the wilderness, internet can be an issue. So we're going old school this episode with the original three, Kels.
How y'all doing out there?
And Neil answering the questions.
How's everybody doing? That's kind of a dumb question because they can't actually answer me.
Well, it's a polite question.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe people when they're listening to the show will say, "I'm doing fine, Neil. How are you?"
I'm known for my politeness.
You are. You're a kind soul. So that was the first announcement. Announcement number two, we are recording this podcast, as you know, from beautiful Northwest Arkansas. And about the time we're recording this is the ramp up to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, which is either the second or third largest motorcycle rally gathering in the country. I don't know if we've passed Daytona yet. We're not anywhere near as big as Sturgis. But if you hear the throaty rumble of a motorcycle in the background, that's why. So, Neil, what are the rules?
Well, the rules are every week we have a theme, and in that theme, there you have 6 categories. Each category has 4 questions worth 10 points each, possibly a few bonus points thrown in here and there, and then a final question that's worth up to 100 points. And today's theme is, I don't know, because I'm not asking any questions today.
Dun, dun, dun.
I can guarantee you I will not lose today. Because I'm asking the questions.
Oh, the plot thickens.
Yeah. It's Kels versus Neil today, people.
This is kind of an uncomfortable position for me.
Well, I think you'll be able to manage, especially with the topic, which was chosen by Mama of the show, Susan L., our first patron. This is the second of our patron-fueled episodes. She wanted to hear a show all about horror movies.
I like horror movies. Kels, do you watch many horror movies?
Yeah, I do. I enjoy a good horror movie.
Shout out to Bodie there. Horror.
Horror.
Well, it wouldn't be a brain ladle quiz if we didn't start off with category 1.
Science?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, just stick a fork in me now.
Well,
put a stake in your heart right now.
You get 1 point for sticking with the theme, Neil. Good job. Question 1 in science. Victor Frankenstein reanimated his monster with a lightning bolt. This process was inspired by the work of what noted Italian surgeon?
Noted Italian surgeon.
For clarification, this is a real person, not Victor Frankenstein, the Italian surgeon. And this is what Mary Shelley drew the inspiration from.
I'm gonna like it.
I mean, there's so many early 19th century Italian surgeons that come to mind. I have a guess locked in.
All right, Neil, what's your guess?
I'm guessing Galvani. I don't even know if that's a real name, but I think that somebody named Galvani probably did something related to electricity at some point.
Okay. Kels?
Okay. I'm gonna preface my answer with I have logic. It's just super incorrect. But
okay.
So the great Freddie Mercury educated me on thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening me. And I went with Galileo.
Galileo.
Yeah.
It's an interesting logic.
I mean, he was an astronomer, not a surgeon.
Right. But
that's all I had.
Well, I hope you're sitting down, Neil, because the correct answer is Luigi Galvani.
What?
Wow.
I have a fascinating trivia nugget with this one.
I hope you do. Cause
So in 1786, Dr. Galvani placed two metal rods at the ends of a severed frog leg, and the frog leg twitched. He presumed that it twitched because of the inherent electricity within the muscles of the frog. Well, there was another noted Italian scientist of the time whose last name was Volta,
uh,
who disputed this and said it was from static electricity in the air. And this particular scientific discussion indirectly led to the well, not indirectly, directly led to the invention of the battery.
really?
Mm-hmm. So thank you,
Interesting.
Mary Shelley. Yeah, it was really good. I have a link to where I found this information. We can put it on the on. I can tweet it out later, but it is fascinating.
Neil,
I
how the
kind
hell did you come up with Galvani? You weren't even sure if it was a name.
of well, so I was my first thought was when I heard the first part of the question that it was going to be like Edison or Tesla, but then I realized that they're way too late for Mary Shelley to write about.
And not Italian.
I started thinking about, well, yeah, there's that too, and then um, I started thinking about like electrical processes, and I think galvanization is like a electroplating kind of process,
Mm.
and then I thought, well, Galvani kind of sounds vaguely Italian, and that's what I guessed.
That is why you write the questions and we try to answer them.
I sincerely don't stand a chance. I hope it's like just straight up 5 categories of movies after this, or we can go ahead and take me to the glue factory after this one.
There's a lot of movie questions coming up.
Okay.
Question number 2. By what mechanism was Mr. Hyde separated from Dr. Jekyll?
I didn't know that they ever separated.
Well, they were two distinct individuals. How was Dr. Hyde drawn out of?
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm locked in.
sure. Locked in.
Kels, what do you got?
I wrote down metamorphosis.
Neil?
I have this really vague recollection that they drank things to switch back and forth, so I wrote down potion or a chemical drink of some kind.
Well, I have here they used a serum. I will accept potion. It's essentially some alchemical potion, some kind of scientific brew that he drank to transform. So, Neil, you are correct.
Excellent.
Question number 3. The Island of Dr. Moreau from 1996 features animal human hybrids. This is an example of what? And for a bonus, in the original work written by H.G. Wells, how did he explain how the hybrids came to be?
I'm locked in.
Okay. I'm locked in.
Neil?
I guessed gene editing or gene splicing.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the bonus, I'm guessing he called it Lamarckism.
Ooh, I like it. Kels?
I want the name of the hybrid, and I thought when you add a human and an animal together, it was a chimera. So I wrote down
Ooh.
chimera.
Kels, I like your answer. I like your answer very much. It is not exactly what I was looking for, but I'm going to give you 3 points for that good answer.
I will take 3 points.
What I was looking for is genetic splicing or gene editing. And for the purposes of the bonus, H.G. Wells described the animal human hybridization process as vivisection.
Oh,
Vivisection.
Yeah. Yeah. You just chopped pieces off of animals and slapped them onto people and vice versa. This series of movies was very interesting because it showed how the audience's understanding of science changed over time, because in 1896 vivisection was the most logical, fantastical way to do this. There was a film in 1970 with Burt Lancaster, and it was through drugs. It was through a serum. And in the 90s, it was genetic editing. So if they remake this movie in 2035, it will be cloning or something like that. So very good job, man. You know your horror movie science.
Sure do.
He just knows science.
And I guess well sometimes too.
You guess extremely well.
So,
Frustratingly well.
a nugget about my bonus Lamarckism was, if I'm getting the name right, was kind of a predecessor of evolution, where for a time people thought that if you made a change to a parent, then their children would inherit that change. So, like, if you cut off someone's toe and they had a baby, then the baby would not have that toe, which seems kind of dumb because it's pretty obvious to prove that that's not true. But that was kind of the case for a while.
That's fascinating. Oh, man.
I would hate to have been in the test group for that.
Let's prove the theory. Question number 4 in horror movie science. Dr. Herbert West is the scientist in what cult classic based on the works of H.P. Lovecraft? And for a bonus, the concoction he uses for his experiments is what color?
Locked in.
All right, 2 guesses coming up. Locked in.
Let's hear your 2 guesses, Kels. No, wait a minute. Before you say anything,
Okay.
are these Neil type guesses or are these real type guesses?
Wouldn't they be the same?
No, because Neil's aren't guesses. They're knowledge drawn from the ether.
Well, we can count that one out. These are
Okay.
these are hopes and wishes right here.
Okay, so this is pixie dust we're looking at here.
Yes, it is.
All right. Sprinkle some dust on me.
All right, sprinkle me, man. All right. I'm hoping that this is the Reanimator.
Mm-hmm.
And for color, I just went with green. Seems very Lovecraftian.
You know it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is the Reanimator.
Oh,
I think there were 3 different movies, and I guessed that it would be black because that's the most dark
Lovecraftian
color.
thing.
Yeah, that's Lovecraftian color.
Well, the movie poster is very famous. It shows Dr. Herbert West on the cover of on the poster with his giant syringe for the movie Reanimator.
Oh,
The syringe is full of neon green fluid. Congratulations, Kels. 12 points for you.
I'm really
10 points for Neil. You are fully on the board.
Getting smoked.
It's anybody's game.
It's still anybody's game. Neil, what are the scores?
I have Kels with 12 and Neil with 40.
15.
Oh, I forgot the 3 points for the for that one.
Chimera.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I got the field goal. So
All right, so 15 to 40. Kels is not in the lead.
I'm inching closer.
Category 2 in horror movies is music.
Okay.
Andy would have said something. Come on.
The Beatles were pretty much a horror show. Is that what he would say?
Yeah. Sadly, no Beatles questions on my horror movie music quiz.
Oh no.
I know. It's not a show without the Beatles at least once, is it?
But no, I don't pay enough attention to Andy to know what he would say in that instance. So,
Oh, okay. Question number 1. In the 1998 film Fallen, starring Denzel Washington and John Goodman, the fallen angel Azazel possesses people and subsequently uses them to kill. What is the song ominously sung by the possessed?
This is very rare, but this is like one of maybe 3 or 4 Denzel Washington movies I've never seen.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, it's a good movie.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I just haven't had the opportunity to watch it. So I'm going to guess a song that if used by people trying to kill you.
Before you lock in, I have an easy mode.
Yes, please.
All right. The song is a Rolling Stones hit.
Locked in.
Man.
Sure. I'm gonna go with that one. I'm locked in.
Neil?
I guessed that based on the way you described it, I went with Sympathy for the Devil.
Good guess. Kels?
Pleased to meet you. Hope
Not
you
as good a guess.
no. That's part of Sympathy for the Devil.
I know. Is that what you guessed?
Yes. That was my lead into my guess.
Well, the correct answer is Time is on My Side. Because in the film, Azazel would body jump. So time is on his side because he's eternal. Yeah.
Stupid Azazel.
Question number 2. What is the name of the iconic theme from The Exorcist? And for a bonus, did this theme win the Oscar?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Kells?
Tubular Bells, and I guess yes.
Neil?
I said Sympathy for the Devil, and I guessed no.
Well, Neil, you are incorrect with your answer, but the bonus, you are correct. The song did not win the Oscar for that year. Kells, you are correct with the song, but not the bonus.
Zutalo.
It is Tubular Bells.
Do you know what won the Oscar that year for Best Song?
You know, I don't. I didn't look that deeply. Do you?
No, because I would have guessed no if I knew it.
Well, for the sake of the show, I'm going to look it up because it was 1973. The Morning After.
Oh, God.
The Morning After?
Yes.
The morning after. That's the only part I know. It's very kind of slow, not really folk music, but definitely like adult contemporary.
Okay.
Not
Who's singing?
cool. Not cool. Who sang it? Once I saw it was The Morning After, I went, what the what? That's terrible.
What was the song in?
Oh, it was from the Poseidon Adventure
Oh.
by Maureen McGovern.
Oh boy. That's great. Wow. Question number 3 is a bit of a deep dive, but I like the question.
Okay.
American Psycho, starring Christian Bale, features a classic kill where Patrick Bateman attacks a rival with an axe, all while extolling the virtues of Huey Lewis and the News. What song from the band's album 4 was playing as the murder took place?
Locked in.
No, I've never seen this movie.
Oh, you're missing out, man. It's a good movie.
But I know some Huey Lewis and the News songs.
Can you Galvani your way to an answer?
By songs, I mean like 3.
That's more than one. So the plural applies.
Well, the problem is now he has to pick between 3. If he only knew one, it would be easy.
Because okay. All right. Sure. Locked in.
Neil?
I think it was Hip to Be Square.
Yes.
By that exclamation, I'm guessing that's what you said, Kels?
Yeah, because I had to. It took everything in me not to put Power of Love. I was like, that seems a little too on the nose. So I want Hip to Be Square.
The correct answer is Hip to Be Square. Question number 4 in the music category. Bernard Herrmann composed perhaps the most famous piece of music ever heard in horror, simply entitled The Murder. What film was this music in?
Oh, no.
Locked in.
Okay. I'm locked in.
Neil?
I'm guessing that it was the violin song that's playing during the murder scene in Psycho, the shower scene.
Kels?
Wow, that is amazing. I was hoping it was just a chi in Friday the 13th, but that makes a lot more sense.
The correct answer is Psycho.
Well played.
I was kind of torn between that and done it, the Jaws thing, but
The
I figured
Jaws.
that was probably John Williams.
That
Yeah.
was John Williams.
John Williams.
Still the reason I don't go in the ocean.
Yeah, I'm good.
Neil, what are the scores?
At the end of round 2, Neil has 62 and Kels has 35.
It's anybody's game. Category 3 is possession.
Oh, nice.
Question number 1.
It's Chris Carter.
What?
9/10 of the law.
Question number 1. What is the name of the demon that possessed poor little Reagan in The Exorcist?
Locked in.
Shoot. Okay, hang on. Kels, you're locked in?
Yes, sir.
It's got some Z's in it. I mean, most good demons do.
Most good.
You got
demons
to.
do.
Zazel, hello.
It's like Zazu or Pazu. Seems like it has a P in it. Okay. I'm going to lock in Pazu, but I don't think that's right.
So you're locked in with Pazu.
Yeah.
Kels?
I said Pazuzu.
Oh. Was there an extra zoo?
There's an extra zoo, Neil.
Ugh.
It is Pazuzu. He was
If you
really
weren't
close.
If you weren't so far ahead, I'd be like, man, give him half credit.
Well, we're going to follow Neil's rules that since Kels got it exactly right, I can't give you any credit.
That's good.
But damn, fine guess.
Very good. I love hearing the way your brain works. It's awesome.
I know it had zoos. It's got 2 zoos, not just one zoo.
It had multiple zoos.
Multiple zoos.
Question number 2. Annabelle tells the story of a doll possessed by a vengeful spirit. It is based on a real doll in the possession of Ed and Lorraine Warren, famous demonologists. What type of doll is the real Annabelle doll?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Wow. Kels.
Raggedy Ann.
Neil.
It's a Raggedy Ann doll.
It's a Raggedy Ann doll. Question number 3. We all know all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. The doomed Torrance family consists of Jack Torrance, Danny Torrance, and who?
Shelley Duvall.
Olive oil?
Olive Oil. She was played by Shelley Duvall. What was her name?
Oh my gosh. It's yeah. I think
I got it.
yeah,
I'm
I think I
liking.
got it. I'm like
Okay. Neil?
Wendy.
Kels?
Wendy.
Shout out to our cohort Andy. It is Wendy Torrance. I have a bonus if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
What is the name of the ghost who tells Jack to correct his wife and which eventually possesses him?
Locked in.
I don't remember this. I'm locked in.
Kels?
I'm hoping that doing double duty in this category, and I said Pazuzu.
That's a lot of Pazuzu. Neil?
I think it was a much more exotic name than Pazuzu. I think it was Tony.
The correct answer is Delbert Grady.
Delbert Grady. Yeah.
Or Grady. Final question in possession. What 2005 film had the audience question whether the possession was real or not?
I'm locked in.
So there are a whole bunch of possession / exorcism movies,
There are.
and
Whole
I've probably
bunch.
seen most of them.
Mm.
And my wife, there was a time when we would see every horror movie that came into the theater like on the day it was released, and this is probably one of them. And if she had heard this question, she'd probably be smacking me upside the head. So I'm just going to go with the one that stands out in my head the most, and I'm locked in.
Kels.
Well, if it's what I think it is, the prosecutor was trying to convince everybody that it was just epilepsy, and this would be the exorcism of Emily Rose.
Neil.
So my answer was The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Those are correct answers from both of you. Neil, what are the scores?
At the end of round 3, I have 92 and Kels has 75.
Catching up, Kels. Category 4 in the horror movie quiz is blockbusters. Each of these films earned over $100 million.
Oh.
That's a lot of dollars.
That's a lot of dough. Question number 1. Sufferers of coulrophobia should steer clear of this film, which grossed over $327 million.
Locked in.
What is this called? Cobra
Col-
phobia? What is it?
Cobraphobia.
Okay.
No, it's coulrophobia.
Coulrophobia.
Coulro phobia. There is an easy mode for Kels if you would like it.
I'm gonna be mad when I say yes to this, but yeah, I'd like the easy mode.
This film was released in 2017.
2017. How much did it make?
$327 million. I
So it's a good chance I saw this.
think you did.
Because I got a feeling I went to the drive-in to see this.
That's even worse.
Yeah. I went to the drive-in to see both, actually, because what I think it is, part 2 just came out not too long ago. I'm locked in.
Neil, what is coulrophobia?
It's the fear of clowns.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is it.
Kels?
You'll float down here. I went with it.
Good job, guys. The correct answer is it. Question number 2. This 1999 film earned over $293 million at the box office. Its protagonist earned an Oscar nomination, and its director was given the opportunity to make many more movies to put twists in.
Locked in.
I feel like there's a clue in there.
There were. Yes.
I'm locked in with a guess. I don't know.
Well, what's your guess, Neil?
I guess The Sixth Sense.
Kels?
Apparently, it nabbed Bruce Willis Best Actor nomination.
It did not.
It didn't.
Who was the protagonist of that movie?
Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel Osment was the
You got that
protagonist.
supporting?
He did.
Got you. It's Sixth Sense anyway.
I knew you knew. The correct answer is Sixth Sense.
That's what I was confused about. I was like, he got nominated for that with the kid. Yeah.
Yeah, that confused me too. I mean, I figured it had to be a M. Night Shyamalan movie,
Mm-hmm.
but then I was thinking of Signs, but that didn't seem right because I didn't think that was like his first movie, and so I went back a little bit to The Sixth Sense.
Well, you went back to the right place, Neil.
That makes me so happy.
I can tell.
I am happy. Stop.
Question number 3. This 2000 film starred Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer as husband and wife trying to survive in a haunted house. It grossed over $155 million.
Oh, I know this because I remember this commercial. It's I'm locked in.
Okay.
I just keep thinking of a Nicole Kidman movie that didn't have Harrison Ford in it, and that's not the right one.
I know the movie you're talking about.
That movie didn't make $100 million, or it would have been on the quiz.
But I am your daughter.
Yeah, that was. Ooh.
Okay, I'm locked in.
All right, Kels, what have you got?
I went with What Lies Beneath.
Neil.
I went with Indiana Jones and the Haunted House.
I
I
want to
want
see that movie. Yeah.
to.
The correct answer is What Lies Beneath. Question number 4. This 2018 offering whispered its way to a $188 million haul.
Locked in.
There is an easy mode if you want it.
Whispered its way, you say?
That's what I said.
Yeah, I'm going blank. I'll take the easy mode.
This film starred the husband and wife team of John
Oh my god.
Krasinski and Emily Blunt.
Locked in.
Neil,
The Quiet Place, or A Quiet Place. Shoot.
we're not going to quibble over articles.
Okay.
Kells,
I went with A Quiet Place.
10 points for Neil, 5 points for Kells, and I've got to say I'm a little disappointed.
I'm not.
Okay.
I think you're doing a fine job, Kels.
Oh, you would.
What are the scores?
Well, I lost even more ground that round. It's 122 to 110.
Ooh. Got ourselves a game.
Yeah.
I might
Finally.
have to bring in a ringer here in a minute.
Category 5 is body count.
Ugh.
The way this is going to work, I had 2 inspirations for this category. One was Neil's Amazing Tribons, and the other was The Price is Right.
Those 2 very good inspirations.
So I am going to name 3 killers. You tell me which one of those killers had the highest body count.
Oh. Okay.
With your guess of the highest body count, give me a number. Whoever is closest to the actual value, not without going over, because I think that's trademarked, gets 2 points.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
Are we ready?
I'm assuming that if you're talking about franchises, it's across all the
It is
official
across all.
movies.
I can tell you with a certainty, every single killer on this list has appeared in more than one movie.
And is it does it include remakes?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that.
It does.
Okay.
It is the character, not the particular franchise you're concerned with.
Got it.
Question number 1. Who was the most lethal? Norman Bates, Jaws, or the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers?
I'm locked in.
Okay.
I'm locked in.
All right, Neil, who is your most lethal killer?
Well, as far as I know, Norman Bates only killed a few people, maybe just 1 or 2. And I know in Jeepers Creepers, the first movie, I think there was just 1 death, and there were 3 different movies, 3 different Jeepers Creepers, and I think his body count shot up a little bit, but there were at least 4 Jaws movies, and he had to have gotten 10 people in each of those. So I went with Jaws and 40 for the
Okay.
kill.
Kells.
I went with the Creeper, and I might have overthought this one because I remembered the bodies that he had plastered on the wall of whatever little room you want to call
Oh
it.
yeah.
So I went with 50.
I guess that, are we including screen kills?
Or is it just the ones he killed during the movie?
I will clarify. These are
Okay.
kills that occurred on screen that you saw happen, not
Oh,
not
okay.
supposed kills or implied kills. And where I drew this list, these are also estimated,
Hmm.
but the kills are on screen.
Okay.
So
I'll still stick with the creeper.
so the correct answer is Jaws,
Mm.
and he had 22 kills, one of which was a whale. Norman Bates has a kill count of 20 because there were a lot more psychos than we'd like to admit.
Really?
Yeah, there are like 5 or 6 with Tony Perkins.
Huh.
And the Creeper has 20
20.
as well. So, Neil, you got the correct answer and you were closest to its kill count. So, 12 points for you.
Cool.
Good call.
Our next tribond of death, we have Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Hmm.
series, The Thing, and Pinhead.
Oof.
I'm only familiar with one of those franchises. So
Which one?
the one with Thomas Hewitt.
Ah,
So Tommy Hewitt, Pinhead, and The Thing.
The
I've never seen
Thing.
any of those.
I'm locked in.
This is
Okay.
multiple. Then you got Leatherface. I want to say Leatherface's count is pretty low. Well, lower than you would expect Leatherface to have. Huh. Okay. I'm locked in.
Neil.
So, yeah, based on the fact that there's only 2 Thing movies, I kind of eliminated that one because there's a pretty limited cast. So I'm guessing he's like around 10. Um, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, there's a bunch of those movies, and Leatherface did kind of get around, but I know there were 10 different Hellraiser movies. I haven't really watched that many of them, but I'm assuming that Pinhead gets the nod on this one, and I guess 30 kills.
Kells.
I also went with Pinhead, but I went with 50 again.
Well, you both had the correct killer. Pinhead had the most kills of those 3. The Thing has 20 kills over those 2 movies. Leatherface has 30, and Pinhead had 35. Neil, you were the closest. 2 points for you.
All right.
Tribond of Death number 3, Fate from the Final Destination films.
Whoa.
And before you ask, this count is the people who eluded death, not the people on the plane in the very beginning of the first movie.
I figured.
Ghostface from the Scream franchise, and Jigsaw from Saw.
I'm locked in.
Also locked in.
Neil, who is your most prolific killer?
So I was the Saw one, the Jigsaw one, that was a little bit confusing because there were actually a few different people who kind of acted as Jigsaw, but I don't think Jigsaw's uh, death count was as high as Fate's. So I went with Fate from Final Destination with 30 again.
Kells.
I also went with Fate, and I'm sticking with 50.
Fate had a very solid kill count of 39. Ghostface had 49, and Jigsaw is
Whoa.
credited with 60 kills.
Hmm.
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw.
Wow.
I take a little bit of. I'm not sure I like that
You
one
take umbrage.
because that's another thing. There were multiple ghost faces too.
That's just the character of Ghostface. It's not the
Uh,
individual, it's the character. You can take it up with the home office if you like. Oh,
issue.
man.
So,
Well,
Take it
well,
from
as long as Kells didn't get it,
Kells
I'm
didn't
okay.
get it either.
there.
It's a wash.
I mean, I'm a Ghostface fan. He's one of my favorite Wu Tang.
And question 4 in the Tribond of Death body count category, we're going with the big 3 guys. We're going with Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger. Who's the most lethal?
I'm locked in. Well, yeah, I'm locked in.
I also am locked in.
Kels, what do you got?
I went with Jason Voorhees, and I said 150.
Neil.
Well, my answer was I think I actually addressed this once on a previous episode. I'm pretty sure it's Jason, and I also answered 150 kills.
The correct answer is Jason Voorhees. And he did have the most kills at 146. So bonus points all around. Strangely enough,
good show.
Freddy Krueger only has 39.
Over the span of like 14 movies.
He did the whole dream thing, so he didn't really get out there and kill a whole bunch of people.
Michael Myers, for your edification, has 107.
I figured it'd be kind of high, but I felt like he didn't really kill like a lot of people in each movie.
It helps to have 900 movies.
It does.
Yeah, I don't think Michael had as many movies as Jason.
Yeah,
but Jason went on some pretty major killing sprees that I think boosted his numbers.
Yeah.
Well, coffee is for closers. So, Neil, what are the scores after round 5?
Kels has 134, and I have 158.
Ooh. All right. Our final category, before the final, in the horror movie quiz is all about monsters. Question number 1. Lawrence Talbot is the Wolfman. How many actors have portrayed the Wolfman? And there is a bonus. If you can name them, you get 1 point each.
And this is specifically the Wolfman.
The Wolfman. Not a werewolf.
Got you.
Essentially, the question is, how many actors have played Lawrence Talbot, the Wolfman?
Okay.
I'm locked in.
I'm also going to lock in.
Neil, what is your answer?
I guessed 4 actors because I really have no idea, and I'm pretty sure one of them was Lon Chaney, and that's the only actor I could guess.
Okay. Kels?
I went with 5, and I said Charles Lawton, Boris Karloff, Benicio del Toro, and Lon Chaney.
The correct answer is 2.
What?
Lon Chaney Jr., so you each got that, and Benicio del Toro.
Oh, that was shot in the dark. I just knew he played a wolf man.
So, Neil, you got 1 point. Kels got 2.
I'm losing ground again.
Point at a time, Neil. Watch out.
Question number 2. Name the titular creature stalking a hapless family during the holidays.
Locked in.
I've kind of got 2 answers, but I'm going to guess you're going with the one that I just locked in with.
All right, let's see, Neil.
So I locked in with Krampus, but I feel like the Babadook could be an answer to that question too, but I could be wrong about that.
Kels?
I went with the Wet Bandits. I'm just joking. I went with Krampus.
The Wet Bandits. The correct answer, the answer I was looking for, is Krampus. Question number 3. What is the designation for the subterranean monsters featured in the 1990 film Tremors?
Locked in.
All right. I'm locked in.
Kels, what's your answer?
I believe they were affectionately named Graboids.
Neil?
I also hope you were looking for the word graboids.
It's not often I say this, but yes, I was looking for the word graboids.
Often, like ever.
And our final question. before the big final extravaganza. A fine example of German expressionism, Nosferatu is a classic of cinema. What year was it released in the United States? Within 2 years. And a bonus is who played Nosferatu.
Mm, I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Kels.
I think the movie came out in 22, but I'm guessing by the way the question was phrased that it was a little later getting here. So I said 1925. And I believe the actor who played Nosferatu was surprisingly Batman Returns villain Max Shrek.
Neil.
Yeah, I also thought that it came out in the early 20s, but based on the way you phrased the question, I assumed it was a little bit later for the U.S. release. And since they didn't have satellites and internet and stuff, I figured it'd take a few years for it to get across the pond. So I went with 1928, and I have no idea. I couldn't name a German actor from the 1920s if I had to. Although now I would guess Max Schreck, but I didn't.
Well, Kels, you got the bonus. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
Max Shrek. And the U.S. release was 1929.
Oh,
You were so close, Kels.
So at the end of the regular rounds, the final scores are Neil with 189 and Kells with 158.
Still anybody's game.
Depends on this final question.
Well, the Academy Awards are an important are an important
God.
are an important milestone in movie history. They tend to signify excellence in cinema, or at least as that excellence decided upon by the voters in the Academy.
Sometimes they're just sympathies, though.
Sometimes they are. We're not. Yes, I completely agree. I have in front of me a list of every horror movie to ever win an Academy Award
For anything?
For anything.
for anything.
Wow.
There are 21 films in the history of the Academy Awards that you would classify as a horror movie to win an Academy Award. I just need you guys to name 10.
Wait just 1 second, Bubba. Yes, it's your friendly podcasting fanatic. Here to shout out my trivia brothers from another mother, the Trivia Rogues. When you get a chance, pop on over to the Trivia Rogues and let Billy and the gang educate you on some things, Bubba. Funk on. And do remember to please look both ways before you cross my mind, baby.
I wrote this list. I'm concerned with some of these movies. I don't know how they'll be classified.
I've got 10, most of which are actual movies.
Yeah, I got 10.
As is tradition, Kels, you are trailing right now, so why don't you give me your list?
All right. I went with for sure screenplay winner Get Out.
Okay.
I went with Sixth Sense, The Exorcist, The Silence of the Lambs, Jaws, Rosemary's Baby, The Omen, Poltergeist, Best Actress winner Kathy Bates' performance in Misery, and Psycho.
Okay. Neil.
I think Kells has a much better list, and I'm a little bit worried right now. I went with Jaws, The Exorcist, Misery. Silence of the Lambs is sometimes considered to be a horror movie, so I'm kind of hoping that that's in your list. I did remember that Get Out won something recently. I hope that Black Swan won something. I'm kind of hoping that Alien maybe won something for special effects.
Mm.
Interview with the Vampire, just because I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. Not really. And then I went with Cloverfield just because, and Pixels because it was a horrible movie, not a horror movie.
Different award
Yes.
show, but yeah.
Just for clarification, this is the horror movie podcast, not the horrible movie podcast.
In retrospect, I should have remembered The Sixth Sense because we just had a question about that.
That's the only reason I got it.
Well, according to my list that I have, The Sixth Sense didn't win an award, but I will double check. I'm pretty sure it didn't. I know it got nominated. Let me make sure.
It can't all be one.
Yeah, I'm just going to make sure because this was a big list because the list that I culled from was Oscar nominees. So it was a large list. It did not win an Academy Award. It was nominated for 6, did not win an Academy Award.
Not win one. It got color purpled.
It did. So here's the list that I have.
Okay.
1932, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde won for Best Actor. 1940, Rebecca won Best Picture.
That's a horror movie?
Yeah. 1945, Picture of Dorian Gray won cinematography. 1968, Rosemary's Baby.
Oh.
1973, Exorcist. 1975, Jaws. 1976, The Omen. 1979, Alien for visual effects. 1981 was American Werewolf in London for makeup. 1986, Aliens won 2 awards. 1986, The Fly won for makeup. 1990, Misery for Best Actress.
Misery.
1991, Silence of the Lambs won a bunch.
Sweep.
Clean sweep.
Yeah.
1992, Bram Stoker's Dracula won 3 awards. 1999, Sleepy Hollow won for art direction. 2006, Pan's Labyrinth won 3 awards. 2007, Sweeney Todd won.
Demon Barber Fleet Street.
In 2010 was a banner year for horror movies at the Oscars. Wolfman won for makeup, and Natalie Portman won Best Actress for Black Swan. 2017, The Shape of Water, and Get Out in the same year for screenplays. So by my count, both Neil and Kels got 7 correct. Am I wrong?
I definitely got 7.
That sounds about right to me. I mean, who's going to quibble over a few points?
I would if I had a leg to stand on.
So that brings our final scores to Kels with 228 and Neil with 259. It's still anybody's. Oh, wait, no, it's not.
Congratulations, Neil, on
Well played, Neil.
An excellent win and thus proving why we make you write questions.
Because this gets old fast.
Kels, you are the one that wins like 5 games in a row.
That's because you stopped playing.
But I mean, I'm just saying, how do you think Andy and Davo feel?
They'll be okay. They're young. They'll bounce back.
Wow.
I thought you were going to say they're used to losing.
Yes. Ooh.
That would be me.
That would. Oh my gosh. So thank you guys for playing tonight and hanging out with me for a bit of horror movie trivia.
Great questions, and thank you, Susan L., for the suggestion.
Thank you, Mom of the show, Susan L. So from all of us here at the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast, this is Davo with Kels.
I guess next time I'm going to need a bigger boat.
And Neil.
So there's no way to pick just a single quote. So I've got a quote medley here for you.
Ooh.
Oh.
I got to take one out because Kels just used it. They're here. Here's Johnny. I see dead people. A boy's best friend is his mother. It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. The power of Christ compels you. That's all I got.
Oh, dude, I'm so mad that I didn't use the lotion one.
Signing off.
If I could do voices, I would have done it better.
Greetings and salutations, all you good trivia people out there. I know what you're thinking. Hey, I really enjoyed this show. How can I get a little more? Well, here to help you out. You can look up these good people on Twitter at Ladle Brain, or if Facebook's more your deal, you can look them up at Brain Ladle Productions. Hey, they've even got their own webpage. It's brainladletrivia.com. Now, if you're feeling generous, you can join a Patreon, where if you donate $10 or more, you can even get yourself a fancy show invite. How about that? Until we meet again, this has been 44, and I'm glad you joined us. Hope I'm out. The preceding podcast was presented by Brain Ladle Productions. All rights reserved.